Okay, so today we're going to be working on Sprite Smash. As you can see, there's a set of directions here on Google Classroom. There's also a folder for you to open. Inside that folder are all of the things that you're going to need. So you might want to just go ahead and download these all to your computer now. Notice you can see down here, I've downloaded mine already. You download something by just right-clicking on it or two-finger clicking on your Chromebook and then come down to download. So you want to download the air horn, the applause, the click, Mole 3, the try again, and the win PNGs. You want to download all of those. So they should all be downloaded down here before you get anywhere. Then you're going to open up these directions, which are over here, and they just basically walk you through how to make this very basic whack-a-mole style game. Once you've got it basically set up the way you want it, then you can go in, alter it, change it, make it cooler, put in different sounds, anything you want. So let's just get the basics up and running. So I need MIT App Inventor. I need a new project, and I'm going to call it Sprite Smash, I think. And then I'm going to go ahead and start building what I need with a clock, 2 buttons, 2 labels, 3 sounds. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start a new project with Sprite Smash game. And I'll put the year on it just in case I do multiples of these. So there we go. Give it a second. It should open up a blank one. So I want it to look kind of like this, where I've got those lined up down there at the bottom. I find it easier to start with an arrangement. So I'm going to go down to layout, and I need one horizontal arrangement. And above that horizontal arrangement, I need a canvas. There we go. So now I can go back to user interface, and I'm going to put a whole bunch of stuff into this button. So into that arrangement. I need 2 buttons, and I just set them right on top of each other to get them go in there. And I need 2 labels, and I also need, from media, I need 1, 2, 3 sounds and a timer. So where would that be? Sensors maybe? Clock. There it is. That's what I need. So 3 sounds and a clock. Okay, now I have to name everything correctly. So I'm going to come back up here. My clock should be named timer, and there's no text value or property to it because the user can't see it. So let's go to clock 1, rename it timer, and hit OK. Notice it's set. Over here, I'm not messing with any of its settings. So back over to the directions. Button 1 should be start button, reset button, score label, and score number label for the 2 labels. So let's come back over here. We'll make this start button. So I'm going to rename it by what it is and what it does. It starts, and it's a button. Oops, I probably don't need an S in starts. There we go. Start button. And then this one will be reset button. Reset button. And this one will be, come back over here, the sounds, click, win, and lose. Now, this horizontal arrangement is not centered. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make it centered, and I'm going to make its width fill parent so it fills the whole screen. There we go. So now it looks like that on my emulator, and my canvas is there. Let's see if I missed anything. Click, win, lose. Oh, I didn't upload and set my sounds yet. So I'm going to go back See under media where it says upload file? Now I'm going to go get all those things I downloaded. So I'm going to start with the air horn and OK. Okay, so now you can see I have my 3 sounds and 3 images all uploaded. So the click sound should have the source of click. The wind sound should have the source wind. Nope, where is it? Applause wave. And the lose sound should be the air horn. There it is. Okay, so now I've got all that set. I've got those set correctly. I've done my horizontal arrangement. My canvas. I want my canvas to fill up the screen. So I'm going to come over here, click on my canvas one, height, fill parent, and width, fill parent, and I'm going to make its background color, background color, green. There we go. Super obnoxious. All right, so back over here. I've uploaded my mole file. I've uploaded all of those other files. Now I need a sprite to move across the screen. A sprite is an image that can move and the user can interact with it. And here are my settings for my mole sprite. So I'm going to come back over here and it's under drawing and animation. It said, there it is, sprite. And image sprite, I'm now going to rename it to mole sprite, so I know what it is. Again, what it is and what it does. And over here, I'm going to set its picture to be the mole. Okay. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, that's probably too big. So let's go look and see. That's why. I need to make it enabled. Interval should be 500. Speed is 0. Visibility should be on. Width and height should be 50. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so it's closer. I might actually go in later and make that slightly wider, but for now I'm going to leave it the way it is just so I can see how it works. Okay, so I've got all that set. And now I'm going to make a procedure. The procedure needs to move the mole. So I'm going to pull out a procedure block in the block section, and I'm going to name it move mole. And then I'm going to get my mole to move by changing the mole's X and Y. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to head over to the blocks. And there's procedures. And I'm going to call it move mole. And I'm going to set the mole sprites X and Y. I know that setting a variable is down here under the X and the Y, or setting anything for a sprite is dark green. So there's rotates, picture, interval, height, heading, enabled. There it is. Set mole X, and come here. And now I'm just going to duplicate it and change the other one because there's a pull down here. So now I can just change it to Y. So I'm going to set them X and Y to be, looks like some math is going to go on. So what it's going to do is it's just going to change the X and the Y of the mole so it just disappears and reappears all over the screen. So I need a random fraction times the width of the canvas minus the mole sprite. So that looks like a bunch of math to me. So let's go get a times block here. There it is, times. And there should be a random fraction because I saw that was also blue. And now I need to subtract something inside of there. So let's try that. So now I can subtract the width of the mole sprite from the width of the canvas. So if I go here, canvas width, there it is, canvas 1 width. Because I'm not changing that, I'm just getting it, it's light green. So mole sprite width, there it is. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate it, put it down here, except notice that that time it's height. So the Y is the height. So I'm going to change this from canvas width to canvas height right there, and mole sprite width to mole sprite height right there. Okay, so I've got my move mole procedure. Now I'm going to move on to update score, and I'm going to create an update score procedure, and I'm going to use a variable. Remember, a variable is just like an empty box in which I can store stuff. In this case, I'm going to store a number. So I'm going to come on over to here, and first I need another procedure, and this is update score, and I needed a variable, so I have to start by initializing a global variable, and we're just going to call it score. And you always start a game at 0, right? So I'm going to update my score to 0. Now to update the score, I'm going to set it to be whatever it was plus 1, right? So update score, that would be math. There's a plus block. I should be able to get a get global score from that same drawer, and then I'm just going to add 1 to it and go back and check my directions and see if that's correct. So I went back, initialized my score to 0, update score was the score plus 1. Okay, resetting the score is another one, so I should be able to reset the score by setting it to 0 and updating the score label. Keep in mind that when I update the score, I really should update that score label too, because otherwise I can't see anything, because it's just sitting there in the background updating the score forever and never shows it to me. So I think I should go to score number label and set its text, score number label text, to be the same thing as the global score. And now I'm going to another procedure. This was to reset the score. So reset score. And I'm basically just going to duplicate this right here and duplicate that. Except that in this case, I don't want to add anything on. I just want to make it 0. So when I reset the score, it always comes back to 0, and I can get rid of that. So does that score limit? Oh, I forgot to tell it to set that to global score. There we go. That was my red X. That was a good indicator that something was wrong. That means it won't run. So let's see. Those look right. And then it says, okay, now I'm going to use the timer to move the mole. So every time the timer fires, the mole will move. So let's go back and find my timer. When timer means when it fires, I'm going to move my mole. So if I go to procedures, I can now call move mole. So now the timer's working and my mole has started to move. And notice it just randomly appears in spots around every 1 second, because the interval on my timer is set to 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. I can go in and make that shorter if I want to move faster. So then when I touch the mole, I want to get a point. So I want to play the click sound so I know I touched it, and I want to update the score. So I'm going to go over here to my mole. Mole. Touch down means click and hold. Touch up means release. There's just plain old touched. When I touch it, I want it to update the score and make a sound. So there's my click sound, and there's play. So I want to play the click sound and update the score. 1. There we go. So reset still doesn't work. So let's, come back and That is the reset, so I would reset the score and turn the timer off so that the mole would stop moving. When I started, I want to turn the timer on so the mole starts to move, but I also want to reset the score because if for some bizarre reason something happens where I need to hit start without hitting reset first, it's possible I could just from here, I could just hit start and add on to my score. When what I really want to do is reset the score first. So you're always starting from 0. So I'm going to go click on those buttons, start button. When the start button is clicked, I want to call reset score, and I want to turn the timer on. So that's setting a variable, so it must be down here. Set timer enabled to. And I want to turn on, so that's going to be a true in logic. And then when I hit reset, I want to do exactly the opposite. So where's my reset button? There it is when I click reset. So you know what? I'm just going to duplicate these because I can. So I'm going to set the timer to false, and I'm going to reset the score. Whoops. I added a message instead. I just wanted to reset, duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. There it is. Call reset score. There we go. So now let's try it. Reset, stops it and makes it go 0. Start, should start it again. Ah, there we go. And it resets. Okay, so I'm almost there. Now, the only things left are if I want to win. So it says here under update score, I can add some blocks. If it's greater than or equal to 10, then I should be able to win the game, and I should be able to change the canvas and call win the win sound. So let's see if I can do that. So that was under update score. So I'm going to move that out of my way, and I'm going to put an if, then else in there. And I'm going to put this else in here because that's what I want to happen if nothing else is true. But this if, I could do a logic, but math makes more sense to me right now. So I'm going to pull a math, except I don't want equal. I want it greater than or equal. And if the global score is greater than or equal to, let's give it a number, let's say 10, then I want it to win. So the first thing when I want it to win, what do I want to do? Well, I want it to play the sound, so I'm going to go find the win sound here. Play win sound. And I want to change the background of the canvas so I can see something. So canvas 1. It's a set block, so it should be dark green. Canvas 1 background. Color. Background image. There it is. Set canvas 1 background image to. Nope, come here. And I have to give it a name. I want it to be this win PNG, so I'm just going to pull out a text bubble and type it in there. So I'm just going to say win.png, and I'm just looking down here to make sure I spell it exactly the same way. And then hit enter, and let's see what happens. There we go, and I should be able to hit reset. Oh, that stayed there. Well, that's not good. So let's go back up to Canvas 1, and where I made the Canvas 1 set to reset, when I hit reset here, I want to just go back to normal. So let's try that. There we go. And now I can hit start, and it should move my guy around. And my user can now there we go. Why didn't he stop? Oh, because I didn't tell him to stop. So when I won, I didn't tell it to stop moving my mole by turning my timer off. So I'm going to go get this set timer. I'm going to duplicate that and stick it in there and make it false so that it stops my timer, which will stop moving my. So if I hit him again, there we go. I got the win again because, again, I'm above 10 and it went ahead and turned the timer off. So now when I hit reset, everything should go back to normal, and then I hit start and he moves around again. So back to the directions. Finally, you may wish to end the game at a specific point level. So you may wish to have the points, you can win at 10. You could figure out a way to subtract points when touching the canvas itself. You can also figure out a way to go in and once you've got like all your stuff going, you might also find a way to lose the game, which is why they had you upload this try again screen and the lose air horn here, the air horn sound, so that you could set it for losing as well. So you can win, you should be able to lose, and then once you get it all working, you're going to download this AIA file to your computer. And the way to do that is really simple. You just go up to My Projects, and instead of import, we're going to export AIA to my computer, and it's going to ask me where to save it. I can export it to my computer right there. I can upload it on Google Classroom and turn it in. Once I have the basics done, I'm going to go ahead and download it. Now I can go back and I can go like remove these sounds and put in more exciting ones. I can remove the picture of the mole and I can put in a picture of something I want to put in. I could put in multiple pictures so that you got different point levels when you clicked on different things. It's entirely up to you and your partner as to how you want to make your game unique and awesome. Okay, so good luck and I hope you enjoy Sprite Smash.